You are listening to Psychology Inside Out podcast. Here we interview researchers, educators, and fellow students about their personal and professional experiences with psychology. In today's episode, Eugenia and I, Claire, recap season 4, our favorite episodes, upcoming ideas for season 5s, and the stories we have. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Welcome, everybody, to the last episode of season 4, where Eugenia and I will go a little bit down memory lane and discuss how the season went for us. So, Eugenia, what do you think we should start with?
Maybe let's start with our favorite episodes and why they're our favorites. So, how about maybe just name a couple of episodes from season 4 and what you liked about them?
Oh, it's difficult because there are so many that I really love, but I think the ones kind of recently are the ones that are sticking in my mind. So I really loved the Rudy de Boer film episode. It's something that I wanted to do since the beginning of doing this podcast, which was look at film. And then we had this incredible opportunity to talk to somebody who's an expert in this. And I mean, I had so much fun. We could have talked with him forever. And I even watched his top movie, Gegen die Wand. Recently, I watched it at Filmhouse. And I also saw that he also has some workshops at Filmhouse about film and music. So it's really nice to kind of recognize and take what we did in that episode with me also outside in the films that I'm watching. What do you think, Eugenia? How do you feel about the film episode?
I loved it. I honestly really wanted to bring Rudy, obviously, because, I attended his lectures. So, but it's also for me, it's always hard because quite often that I attend lecture from someone, again, in university or like with Rudy, for instance, and I really want to bring this person to like the studio and share it. But then I understand that then the vibe is slightly different, the setting is slightly different. So it is really hard, and I'm sometimes I don't want to say that about this episode that I was disappointed or something, but it is quite often that I like, oh, we could do better. So for me, it's always this
Hmm.
feeling. So no, it was really nice to talk to Rudy. Yeah, he really brought some inspiration what to watch definitely. Any other episodes
Definitely.
that come to mind?
I'm thinking also about the one we did with Chantal van der Helder about autism education, because it was also kind of a way for me to use the podcast in learning more about my job and kind of expanding that, but not in a specifically job related setting, but just because also autism is my passion and I spend so much time thinking about it. Why not bring it to the podcast and also learn something from a different perspective that I can use in the podcast, but also outside? So I think that one for me was also very interesting. And I'm right now really focused on our creativity series and how much I really enjoy listening to everybody's creative process. So that's kind of the third one for me that I'm looking forward to expanding more on. What do you
Definitely,
think,
definitely.
Eugenia?
No,
What
I
kind of
agree.
comes to mind for you?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And also that what you mentioned, that, this kind of recency effect in a sense that, for instance, creativity series we just started. So these are the episodes that we were working, let's say, last couple of months. And that's why I would say for us, they are the most fresh and we like think about them, who to bring more and so on. So I definitely enjoyed that we started this creativity series. And of course, spoiler alert that we are also working on critical thinking episodes, so that they're also coming in season 5. But looking back on season 4 still, and whom to mention, maybe some episodes to mention. Well, definitely episode, of course, with MJDorian on creativity, and also with Bianca Tums. It was very nice to, again, because she brought also a lot of perspectives from different sides. So I really enjoyed that. Maybe hopefully she will join us again on season 5 because she is working on new book. Her book should be out soon and maybe even out already. Maybe it's already possible to order it. And then also a few episodes. Well, I will mention maybe episodes that you didn't mention. I really like that we brought also a few episodes on genetics because I think it's so underappreciated field, and there is so much again that genetics actually tell us about behavior. So that's why I was really happy that we had a couple of professors, again, Michael Bartels, on well-being, for instance, or on education with Else van Bergen. It was very, very nice that they were able to, again, it's also a hard field to kind of explain to people. So I like that we kind of were able to bring this and enjoyed it a lot as well, talking to these professors.
Yeah, it kind of also helped our goal with well, one of our many goals with the podcast, which is this translation of science, right? And when we think about genetics, it's always this big, scary, ooh, and then we can find ways to make it super approachable, talking to these professors and also making it, yeah, I really liked the one on well-being. I thought that was really fascinating. And I think it's part of psychology we don't talk about enough, I think, because it's such on the research end. And yeah, so I really enjoyed listening to those new perspectives. And kind of on a similar note, when we're talking about maybe not our favorite, but one that also surprised me and that I was really happy that and Eugenia, you took the initiative to do was the Andrea's story in season 4, of course, but episode 13. And I really loved when she was talking about the yellow car theory, how our attention and our yeah, selective attention really directs a lot of our feelings, and that you can kind of the cultivating your inner sunshine really stuck with me on that. And I thought that was really beautiful. And we got had the opportunity to lift up a story that I think was really important.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yes, it was very, very brave from Andrea. And first of all, I really hope that we can still do one more episode because she right now, luckily, finished with her treatment and everything goes mostly well. But also that I think we can learn this positivity from her, to be honest, and this strength. So I wish that everyone, and I personally want like, to have more of this positivity, of course. Also, actually, one more maybe from my side about one of my favorites. It's actually your episode about pigeon. I must say that it was just very, very strong episode. I really hope that we can also bring it in video.
I have
It's
been
I
recording a lot of pigeons. Every time I see a pigeon, I've been recording it. And yeah, for the upcoming season, I'd love to re-release some things, a visual to it, because I think it would also be really powerful to see the visuals of the cute pigeons by the lake, but also the ones at the train station that are huddled up or with broken feet and things like that. So I really enjoyed that episode too. I felt like I was thinking, how did I not talk about this before? So it was
uh,
nice.
yeah, yeah, parallel. It was very, very strong parallel with mental health. So again, with homeless, it's yeah. Thank you, thank you. It's again, thank you for bringing it.
And would you consider doing your own insights episode in the new season? What do you think, Eugenia?
I actually have one right now, one essay on humanity in 21st century. I must say that I actually wrote it a couple of weeks ago, but then also some things, let's say, happened to me personally. So at the moment, I want to maybe hold it a little bit and maybe we can release it in season 5. And yes, I have also few ideas for insights as well. So hopefully we'll
Because I think you have a lot of really interesting things to say, and you always bring so many amazing guests and topics to the table. And yeah, so I'd really love to hear more from you. We'll keep our
yeah.
fingers crossed. Eugenia solo episode.
Let's see, let's see. So, how about talking about if there were any changes for you personally or some moments with a topic that changed our way, how we do our work, or maybe just, in life, or maybe as a podcaster? Was there anything during this season that maybe, yeah, like was a turning point?
I do think I shifted into more leaning into the conversational aspect of it. So with my Insight series, I do think it's more scripted and structured. So then when I do episodes with guests, I really want to make it feel like a conversation, because what me and Eugenia always talk about is that the best conversations are almost always the ones when it's not rolling. So I wanted to bring that same energy into our guest series to have that kind of more natural conversational. It obviously there are still extremely intellectual topics, but I wanted to also feel a little bit real, bring my personality into it more, be a little bit less structured and cramped up when And I think Rudy's episode really hit that sweet spot for me because I'm like, great, we can just talk about film like we're sitting on the couch, but also bring some really interesting topics about psychology into it and have the listeners just be a fly on the wall of a great conversation. And I think that's kind of what my goal was, and I think my goal is also for next season to have. What do you think? Do you think there was something you feel like changed in your own work, life, or podcast style?
There is always there are always some changes, but actually right now there is maybe more technical part because we will not have studio at the Freie Universität anymore. And so I was forced a little bit to like use other editors. So instead of GarageBand, so more like technical part. I learned some new things as well. So for instance, we did like these video episodes, and obviously you need to edit it in a different software. So for instance, DaVinci. So again, there was something, let's say, that I kind of learned, and I enjoyed it. I yeah, I wouldn't say that it was like super easy because you need some to have some extra time for editing, but at the same time, I kind of enjoy that there is still something to learn, you know?
Added more to your toolbox,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
more things you can do. And we kind of teased a little bit on this, but what are the future episodes that we are excited about that we want to see that we're gonna put into the universe? What comes to mind?
Yeah, I'm excited for critical thinking episodes, so we'll have a couple of guests. Also for creativity, obviously, we would like to bring more researchers, so it was already basically agreed on, but then there was some complications, so we still don't have like, let's say, researchers talking about creativity. So these two, I would say, with the series we can continue. And then we will have hopefully some interview on sustainability as well coming up, and with very interesting podcast guests. I don't want to reveal it for now, but yeah, if things go right, then we will have very interesting conversation about sustainability. And Claire, for you, like,
Yes.
do you have topics or guests or someone that you are excited about?
Well, I'm thinking more broadly, I want to just go into more unexpected places. I think that's what we did a lot in season 4, and I want to continue that into season 5. Going into, yeah, psychology in film, art, other aspects in the art and research. I want to really expand and find psychology in every aspect of our lives. Maybe talking to doctors that aren't in psychology, but more in medical doctors, something to find the psychology in places that maybe are less expected. I think that's something I'm really excited for. And then the creativity in those places as well. Yeah, I also just want to have the opportunity to talk to the people around me more in a more psychological professional way. Talk to some people from my work or people that I know in my lives and bring them on and to find, yeah, the psychology in there. Because I think a lot of the time, although we do study psychology, and have that in our daily lives, when is the opportunity we get to really geek out about it, and that's what I also want to see. And yeah, maybe something about dance, something about body movement outside of traditional exercise. We did have a dance episode in one of our earlier seasons, but I think it would be nice to also bring maybe the research side into that. I don't know, anything. Climate change was something that Eugenia brought up to me recently, and I thought that was something also really important. Maybe something, maybe not specifically about politics, but about the state of the world, because I think that's something that's on a lot of our minds recently. We can talk about the psychology of that, increasing loneliness, and how do we deal with this ever-changing world that we have, especially in the digital landscape.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there will be, of course, some more episodes that maybe right now we don't even expect, but they just come up as it always happen. Mhm.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that I'd like to maybe re-record some older episodes, maybe some older insights ones, with a new, fresh perspective. Because I think it's always nice to look back on the work we've done and to add to it as we grow.
Yeah, or follow up as well.
Hmm.
We'll see. So maybe before we wrap up the season, We can also talk about something personal too, but that we would like to share. Maybe something exciting that we watched, as you mentioned, movie, or maybe something that we read, listen, or something that just happened and influenced the way you think and feel right now. Can be several
Mhm.
things.
I mean, I've done a lot of talking. Maybe you can tell me, Eugenia, because Eugenia always has the best, she always reads so much research and you have a lot of insight. So I want to hear one more research thing, psychology thing, and maybe one more creative thing from you.
Okay, so maybe let's start with creative because that would be the easiest. Sorry. It would be Creative Codex podcast with MJ, with whom we actually did the episode. So I must say that I just fell in love with this podcast. And I was really, as I mentioned during the episode as well, I was binge listening on it. And what is also interesting that MJ, not only he's artist himself, he's also a musician and teaching music, but in podcast, not only he's covering people who are creatives themselves, right? But he also talk about creativity process from different perspectives. So he also kind of have creativity lessons there in the podcast. So it's really beautiful. Again, it's done with the music, original music created by him. Definitely recommend it to everyone. I even re-listened to a couple of episodes because they're just so nice. And okay, and then about more about like research and science. Maybe again, few things. I attended the conference on sustainability in November, I think, in Amsterdam. And from there, we actually have some leads to our future guests as well. It was just in general very nice. I cannot bring right now like specific topics. Maybe I can bring specific topics and people, of course, who were talking there. But it's just interesting to see that how actually already sustainability and climate change is incorporated in science and how people do also public health. So some things about like, data centers, yeah, so that they, or for instance, even things like this, that for instance, if there is a conference, it's better always kind of do it locally or video because of the travel, obviously. At the same time, of course, we all know that it's not the same if you do just video conference. I can tell that I've attended video conferences and in person, and it's unfortunately a big difference. But at the same time, it's something to think about. Yeah, that was very interesting. I can put it in the show notes. That conference, it's a yearly conference in Amsterdam, and every year it's something different. So last year it was actually about AI, yeah, AI and public health
Mhm.
as well, and how it is incorporated and so on. And yeah, I can also talk about actually some interesting, again, very quickly. There was this podcast episode that I've listened to. It's Huberman Lab, obviously. Everyone knows Andrew Huberman. And his podcast was David Eagleman. He's himself a researcher, scientist, neuroscientist, really like, working on the neuroplasticity part. And I was listening to his episodes before. And during the episode, Andrew Huberman asked David Eagleman, what he thinks is very important to people to educate. And he said also like creativity and critical thinking. And I was like, yes, exactly. We need to continue with these episodes
Mhm.
because, maybe there will be also more on this topic from Andrew Huberman. We'll see. But yeah, some interesting and exciting. And also, I can recommend this podcast episode. Maybe we put also a link on it because it's very exciting things to learn what's actually possible with our brain. That because again, before we always thought that brain stops developing approximately in 20s, but it's actually not true. Yeah. So, and what exciting things you can do and develop your brain your whole life, basically. Yeah. Okay. But then it's your turn, Claire.
No, well, it's super fascinating. This is why you always find really great things and insights. And I think podcasting is a great way to take in information. Yeah, for me, I mean, Eugenia's on the podcast, I'm on the films, always, never ending. And there was some really great films I watched last year. I would say the most impactful movie that was released last year for me was If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And this is about a therapist who has a therapist, and she's going a little crazy. And I think that's all I will say about it. It's less plot driven and more kind of about, yeah, going through the motions of things and kind of a little bit more comedy and catastrophic as well. And I found that there was a very big trend last year in films where it was talking about parenthood, about postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression, but also about what it's like to be a parent. I thought that was very interesting that that was something that a lot of films picked up on. So also Die My Love, I also watched. That's also more postpartum psychosis, and One Battle After Another is also about parenthood and being a parent. Also, I also watched Paris is Burning. It's not 2026 release, but it's the drag documentary that's also about family and chosen family. And yeah, I think every year I also have a different perspective on movies, but I'm still never losing. The main thing I like to see is I just like to see the human part of it, the human part of being human and the psychology beneath that. Watched a lot of great movies, and there will be more. I definitely also made sure to watch Rudy's top movies. So I watched Gegendiwand in theaters, and that's also about difficult relationships with people and how that kind of can break yourself down, but also the other person. Yeah, so I want more movies next year, and we'll get Rudy back on so I can chat with him about movies for another 2 hours and hopefully it's more for me. It's not for the episode, it's just for me. I just want to
Yeah,
talk
but
to
we
him.
also do it for ourselves, right? So
Yeah, right. But I think those make the best episodes, the ones that we're enjoying and well, I mean all that's all we do because we choose who we have on. So we're gonna choose something we're gonna enjoy it too.
mm,
There's a lot of exciting things, a
yeah.
lot of exciting things coming. And yeah, we're excited to share all of the new ideas we have to explore them and have another great season.
Yeah, and more video episodes probably would be coming in season 5, yeah.
Yes.
Because originally we actually started a lot of video episodes in season 1 already, but then after some time we decided to discontinue it. Yeah, so I'm happy that we are right now finally bringing it.
Yes. Okay, great. Then we'll see you in season 5.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Psychology Inside Out podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to follow and subscribe. You can also find us on Instagram on psychologyinsideout.podcast, where we update our followers on upcoming episodes. Thank you for listening, and until next time.